Before the first rune was carved and long before the Viking longships cut through the icy northern seas, there existed a universe unlike any known today, a cosmos alive with forces of creation, chaos, and destiny. At the center of all existence stood Yggdrasil, the great world tree, whose colossal roots and boundless branches connected the 9 worlds, forming a web of life, magic, and fate. From the glittering halls of Asgard, home of the Aesir gods, to Midgard, the realm of humans, from the frozen wilderness of Jotunheim to the fiery expanse of Muspelheim, from the shadowy depths of Niflheim to the serene forests of Alfheim, each world pulsed with energy, and every action, every battle, every whisper shaped the intricate tapestry of the cosmos. At the pinnacle of this cosmic order sat Odin, the All-Father, whose single eye gleamed with knowledge, gained at the cost of the other, at the well of Mimir. His spear, Gungnir, never missed, and his 2 ravens, Hugin and Munin, traversed the 9 worlds, gathering whispers, secrets, and glimpses of the unfolding fate. Odin, wise beyond measure, sought understanding of the past, present, and future. Yet even he could not escape the threads the Norns had spun, threads that foretold the inevitable apocalypse, Ragnarok, and the rebirth that would follow. Odin's son, Thor, was the thunder wielder, protector of both gods and humans. His hammer, Mjolnir, capable of leveling mountains and summoning lightning, was his instrument of justice and defense. Thor's strength was matched only by his courage and loyalty, and countless sagas told of his battles with frost giants in Jotunheim, his encounters with serpents and monsters, and his endless quests to retrieve what had been lost or stolen. Thor was the bulwark of the cosmos, yet even he could not alter fate entirely. His battles were as much about duty as they were about survival. Then there was Loki, the cunning trickster. Neither friend nor foe entirely, Loki was a shapeshifter and master of deceit. His cleverness brought fortune and calamity alike, and his offspring Fenrir, the colossal wolf destined to devour Odin, Jormander, the world-encircling serpent, and Hel, ruler of the underworld, would each play pivotal roles in the final cataclysm. Loki's mischief, though often dangerous, forced gods and mortals alike to adapt, revealing truths and catalyzing events that shaped the very fabric of the 9 worlds. Among the pantheon, Freya, goddess of love, beauty, and magic, rode her chariot, drawn by massive cats, adorned with the enchanted necklace Brisingamen, and led warriors in battles both physical and spiritual. Balder, the god of light and purity, embodied hope, innocence, and joy, and his death, caused by Loki's schemes, cast a shadow over the realms, precipitating events that would eventually lead to Ragnarok. Tyr, god of war and justice, sacrificed his hand to bind Fenrir, exemplifying courage and the painful necessity of duty. Each god and goddess, with their virtues, flaws, and actions, contributed to the living, breathing story of creation, struggle, and cosmic balance. Beyond the gods, the Jotun, or giants, roamed the 9 worlds. Frost giants from the icy north, fire giants from Muspelheim, and mountain giants represented the chaotic forces of nature, embodying both destruction and raw primordial energy. They were not mere enemies. Some intermarried with gods, creating lineages that intertwined destinies, and their existence reminded all that chaos was as necessary as order, that conflict and balance were inseparable in the unfolding of reality. Among these giants and monsters, few were as fearsome or consequential as Fenrir, the wolf whose jaws would one day swallow Odin, Jormungandr, the serpent whose very movements could raise oceans and threaten Midgard and Hel, whose dominion over Niflheim reminded all that death was an essential and inevitable part of life. Each of these beings was a force of destiny, an agent of the cosmic order, and every myth surrounding them reinforced the principle that creation and destruction were entwined, that life arose only through struggle and endings. The sagas are filled with epic tales: Thor's quest to retrieve Mjolnir from the giants, Odin's pursuit of knowledge even at the cost of his eye and safety, Loki's chaotic interventions that both threatened and aided the gods, and mortal heroes whose courage influenced events on a scale far beyond their human perception. In Midgard, humans labored, fought, loved, and died, yet their stories echoed across the 9 worlds. Sigurd, the dragon slayer, and the Valkyries, who escorted fallen warriors to Valhalla, illustrated that mortals were not mere spectators, but participants in the cosmic play, where every choice reverberated across realms. Even seemingly minor acts had cosmic significance. A whisper in Alfheim, a misstep in Jotunheim, a prophecy heard by a mortal in Midgard All could trigger events that rippled across the 9 worlds. The interconnectedness of all realms, the delicate balance of life, and the inevitability of fate were the underlying principles of Norse cosmology. The gods' victories and failures, the giants' schemes, and the mortal's courage were all threads in a tapestry that could not be unraveled without consequence. As Ragnarok neared, the skies darkened and the earth trembled. The Fenrir wolf broke free from his chains, its jaws wide enough to swallow the All-Father himself. Thor and Jormungandr met in battle upon the shores of Midgard, thunder clashing with the serpent's venomous fury. Loki, having escaped his bonds, led the giants against Asgard, chaos and fire consuming the divine halls. Odin faced Fenrir in Valhalla, the clash of god and beast echoing through Yggdrasil's roots. Mountains crumbled, rivers boiled, and the very fabric of reality shivered under the weight of destiny. Yet even amidst destruction, hope endured. From the ashes of war and the collapse of worlds, a new order emerged. 2 humans, Lif and Lithracer, survived the apocalypse, repopulating Midgard and ensuring that life continued. From the embers of the old cosmos rose the seedlings of renewal, the enduring principle that creation is born from destruction, and that even the greatest tragedies give rise to new beginnings. Beyond the known worlds, Yggdrasil stretched into dimensions unseen, its branches cradling realms both wondrous and terrifying. In Vanaheim, the Vanir gods thrived, masters of fertility, wisdom, and seafaring magic. Freyr, brother of Freya, commanded prosperity and abundance. His golden boar, Gullinbursti, roamed the skies, illuminating the lands with its radiant glow. The Vanir, though initially in conflict with the Aesir, would later form treaties, marriages, and alliances that blended divine wisdom and strength, illustrating the delicate interplay of diplomacy, power, and the inexorable threads of destiny. Meanwhile, in the shadowed forests of Alfheim, the light elves lived in harmony with the natural world, their magic subtle yet potent, guiding the fates of mortals and gods alike in ways unseen. The dark elves, or Dukalfar, in contrast, dwelt beneath the earth, masters of hidden knowledge, shadows, and arcane craft, reminding all that even light held within it potential darkness. Every realm was alive, each with its denizens, each exerting influence on the unfolding saga. In Jotunheim, the giants stirred constantly. Thrym, king of the frost giants, once stole Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, intending to use it as a tool of conquest. The gods, led by Odin and Thor, devised cunning plans to reclaim it, leading Thor to disguise himself as a bride in one of the most legendary tales of trickery and valor. The frost giants' icy lands and towering fortresses stood as monuments to the raw, untamable forces of nature, the eternal challenge to the gods' order and Midgard's stability. The story of Loki's children became central to the approach of Ragnarok. Fenrir, bound with magical chains crafted by the gods, thrashed against his bonds, destined to break free. Tyr's sacrifice of his hand to Fenrir was a reminder of the painful compromises necessary to maintain cosmic balance. Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, lay coiled around the earth, its massive body encircling the seas, waiting for the final confrontation with Thor. And Hel, ruling over Niflheim, gathered the souls of the dead, her half-living, half-dead visage symbolizing the inescapable truth that life and death were entwined. The interactions of gods and mortals were equally dramatic. Human heroes like Sigurd the Dragon Slayer and Brynhild the Shield Maiden traversed worlds of danger and wonder, their fates intertwined with divine beings. Sigurd's slaying of Fafnir, a dragon guarding a hoard of cursed gold, brought both fortune and tragedy, teaching that greed, courage, and fate are inseparable in the weave of existence. Valkyries, the warrior maidens of Odin, soared over battlefields, choosing which warriors would live, which would die, and guiding the bravest souls to Valhalla, Odin's great hall, where they would feast until Ragnarok arrived. Even in the heavens, the interplay of magic, wisdom, and courage continued. Alfheim's light elves healed forests and nurtured magical life, while Vanaheim's Vanir guided growth and prosperity. Asgard's gods, tempered by loss and renewed by rebirth, maintained vigilance over the realms, ready to intervene when chaos threatened balance. The cycle of creation and destruction was now understood not as a threat, but as a natural order, teaching that the universe thrives through change, challenge, and resilience. Ragnarok, though survived, remained a cautionary tale. It was a reminder that even gods are bound by fate, that all beings mortal or divine must act wisely, and that courage and cunning alone are insufficient without foresight and balance. The stories of Odin, Thor, Freya, Tyr, Loki, Fenrir, and Jormungandr became living guides, their lessons woven into the very fabric of the reborn Nine Worlds. Thus, the saga of Norse mythology continues, eternal and enduring. It teaches that even amidst chaos and destruction, life persists, that heroes rise and fall, but their deeds echo forever. That gods, giants, and mortals are intertwined in the endless dance of fate, and that Yggdrasil, the world tree, forever stands as a symbol of connection, life, and the boundless wonder of the cosmos. In the modern age, these myths live on, inspiring books, movies, games, and art. The adventures of Thor and Loki captivate audiences, while the stories of courage, sacrifice, and destiny resonate deeply with human experience. From the fjords of ancient Scandinavia to contemporary culture worldwide, the lessons of the Nine Worlds remind us that courage, wisdom, and resilience are timeless virtues, and that the universe, though vast and often incomprehensible, is a tapestry of stories, each waiting to be remembered, honored, and shared. Thus ends the epic tale of Norse mythology, a continuous thread from the dawn of time through the fires of Ragnarok and into the rebirth of worlds. A story of gods and mortals, of creation, destruction, and renewal, of courage, cunning, and destiny, a saga that forever illuminates the mysteries of existence and the boundless potential of life itself.